Hey, welcome back to the Disney Lorcana YouTube channel. We are doing Introduction to Lorcana with the next series of videos. This first one will be all about pack openings, as well as the type of cards that you will see in Disney Lorcana. So if you're new to this is absolutely perfect for you. We'll cover all the different symbols that you're going to see on the cards. Hopefully talk about different variants that you might see. It won't be inclusive of everything because I don't have an example of every single type of card you may come across in Disney Lorcana, but I think it's the vast majority of them. I know there's at least one special promo card that I do not have yet. Probably will at some point. So I can't show you that one, but this will cover at least 90 to 95% of an answer for you. So I do have Sahana here with me. She is not in her spot. We have a nice big bed for her, but if I see her move to her bed, I will turn on the Sahana cam so you can all take a look at her. For those wondering at home, she's doing much better now. She is going up the stairs and down the stairs by herself, though she chooses not to go up the stairs at times. But if it's dinner time, she'll happily go up the stairs without any help needed. The rest of the time, she just likes to be carried a little bit with it. So I don't mind too much. She's a princess. I love her. We all love her, of course. So hopefully she'll make an appearance, but I can't guarantee if she's not in her spot, then trying to record her becomes a bit of a problem with it. So we have two cams set up, at least for now, and let's get into it. Sorry to interrupt, Disney Lorcana. I have to make this video because when I uploaded the one you're currently watching, I realized that I had two major editing mistakes. One I fixed, and the other one I could not fix. Why? Because I deleted the original file, which was not the smartest move that I've ever done. So, if you happen to catch it, which I think there was only like 2 views before I pulled this down, there was like 8 seconds of blank space before the video started, and then I started going into the 101 video, right? That's been deleted. That was easy to remove. Problem is that the camera that I use my phone versus the camera I was recording my face with for the card, or sorry, the camera that I used for recording the cards and what I was using for my face are not synced up properly. So at times I'm going to be ahead of what I'm actually showing on the cards. It doesn't necessarily change anything, but I do apologize for this issue. You will see in another video that I had sound quality issues with what I recorded. After hours of troubleshooting, I got it fixed, but I'm learning. Just perfectly honest with this. I am figuring all this out as I go. I'm having a lot of fun doing it, but I'm also making a lot of mistakes in the process with it. So I'm learning about all sorts of different video editing, sound software, and what could be causing issues, and then also doing the editing with it, which I've never done before. So it's just a learning experience. So I appreciate you sticking through it. I hope you're enjoying the videos. We'll have the Lorcana 101 Part 2 coming out in a bit, and I'm hoping that I won't have to make another one of these for that. So, all right. Back to you, Disney Lorcana. Let's talk about the different symbols that you can see opening a Lorcana pack. This is inclusive of all sets 1 through 8. I don't think it will include Fabled, which is coming out, I think, late August, early September. So depending on when this airs, it may be getting closer to Fabled being released. They're introducing 2 new rarities, and I will make a new video to talk about those when that happens. So, you open a pack. First card you're going to see is a common. It is indicated by that circle symbol there. You will get about 6 or 7 of those, and then you'll move into your uncommons. Uncommons to me looks like a book. At this point we're getting into where the next ones will start being able to count sides. I just look at this as a book. You may be able to count 2 sides of a book and like it count it as 2. Maybe the circle you count as 1. I know that makes 0 sense right now, but when we go to the next rarity, it might make a little bit of sense. So let's talk about the next rarity, which is actually rare. It's called rare. It has the triangle. Sahana is letting her voice be heard now. I don't know if the mic picks her up yet or not, but if she barks, it's her contribution to the video with it. So, okay. This is a triangle, 3 sides, and it just goes up from there. So before we talk about the next rarity that you will see, let's also mention that all these cards can come in a regular, which looks like this as we've seen, and also a foil. Now typically foils have a full border. In this case the Huey Dewey and Louie cards have a picture being made from all 3 cards with it, so the borders aren't necessarily there for these sets of cards, but typically for most foils they will have a full one. Actually, I have another one here I can show you. We will go with Rhino from set 7, and you can see we have a full border, and this is a foil. I will take that out of the sleeve to see if it helps. Yeah, and this is a rare foil. Not great. I'll put that down. That's a little bit better. Not the best. For set 7, set 8, I think those only, the foiling extends all the way down into the lower area of the card. When you look at the first 6 sets, and don't quote me on that for Azurite Sea set 6, at least for the first 5 sets, the foiling does not go all the way down into the lower logo, so you won't see foiling in this area here. It'll stop at this point here. Honestly, I'm glad they went to the full foiling because it makes it actually quite difficult to tell whether or not a card you're looking at is a foil. Obviously, if you pulled it out of a pack, the last card in a pack will be your foil. Very easy to tell that's your foil, right? But if you don't have that, it kind of makes it confusing, and the only way I could ever tell is by checking the lore logo up in the top. If you look in there, if it's inkable, which this means it's inkable, then it's usually easier to tell for the first 6 sets whether or not it's a foil. So I'm not going to talk about inkable, uninkable, lore, things like that in this video. That will be the next video when we talk about the basics of playing Lorcana. This is just pack openings and the type of cards you'll see. So if you're curious about that, stay tuned, watch the next video, and I will go into that in the next video. So, alright, so we covered rare, going back into it, 3 sides. Now we're going to go to next rarity up, is a super rare, effectively 4 sides. Not effectively, it actually is 4 sides. You can see it there. It almost looks like an oak leaf to me, but it's not. It definitely has 4 sides to it. So this is Stitch from the first chapter, and then we go into legendary cards, which are the gold pentagon. So it has 5 sides there. When you open a Lorcana pack, you will have your commons and uncommons, and then you'll have 2 cards that can either, well, minimum of a rare, so it will be 2 cards that at least are rare. It is possible for the first card to be a rare, and the next card will be of a higher rarity than that. The way it works in Lorcana is that the first card you get, the next one cannot be of a lower rarity than the previous one. So if you pull a legendary in the first slot, the second slot has to be a legendary as well too. So it means you can have combinations of rare, rare, legendary, super rare, legendary, or legendary. But you cannot have legendary in the first slot and then rare in the second slot. I've opened a lot of packs, never seen that happen. That's not how a pack is supposed to be. In fact, if you did see something like that, something very funny is going on there. So those are your 2 rare card slots. Ideally, you want to pull, legendary. The card after that will be your foil. Now the foil can be of any rarity. It could be a repeat of literally the card you just pulled. So it could have been Beast Legendary, and then you could pull the Beast Legendary foil right after that. Unknown what you're going to get. Usually you get commons, right? That's just how rarity works. So now the special part, about the foil is that the symbol will be the same for any base level foil. The one you really want to see is the enchanted logo. This logo right here means that the card is enchanted. It's a full art foil with it. It's also an alternate art. So if you're coming from Pokemon, that terminology should make sense for you, right? It's an alternate artwork. So this card does exist. I think Alice Growing Girl in set 2 is a legendary card, and this is the enchanted version of it. It doesn't always have to be legendary for an enchanted. Maui Hero to All, this is the base form of it in a foil. It has an enchanted in set 1, so it's an enchanted rare card. In terms of value, it doesn't necessarily matter whether or not it's a rare, super rare, legendary. It's going to be how meta relevant it is at this point. As more collectors get into the game, we might see that change. In fact, I would expect that to change. But at this point, the players are dominating the value of cards, which is honestly really cool to see. Because if something becomes meta relevant, you know right away because the price goes crazy on it. Or if something else happens, then you might see the price drop with it. So in terms of enchanted, Enchanted might be mostly meta relevant, but I do think there is some of the collector side of it. And I think the biggest example of that is if you look at the first chapter in Elsa, Spirit of Winter Enchanted. It is the most valuable card in set 1. It's not meta relevant that I know of, and it still has the most value. So I think the artwork on that is amazing. People love Elsa, obviously, and so I think that's a bit more in demand. It's the chase of that set. So, okay, if you're opening a pack, those are all the type of logos and cards you will see in a pack, at least for sets 1 through 8. Now let's talk about the stuff that you can see, but you're not going to get it from opening a pack. The first thing we will talk about are, and these are all various types of promo cards. So I've put everything under the umbrella of a promo, and then we're going to divide it out from there and just have subsets of it, right? So the most common one you'll come across is this one. I think this is not league play. I have it up. I may have to look on that one. These are, actually that may be league play. So this is the most common type of promo card you'll see. Typically the artwork is exactly the same, except your foiling will be different. So if you look at the base version of this card, even the foil, if you notice the foiling is inverted compared to what it would be on the regular card. Outside of that, there's really no difference other than this logo symbol, and you notice it loses, I think this is a common, it may be an uncommon, it loses that symbol and it just becomes the promo symbol. The other type you can see is this sort of promo. The value of these also varies with the demand of the card and how rare it is. In the later editions of the set, you also see that the lore logo is red instead. So these are becoming more common now. Prices vary quite a bit, but again, the artwork is still the same as it is the base card. You just get the red here, and the foiling is a bit different with it, but that isn't really changed. Then you get into another type of promo card that becomes more valuable, because I think they're maybe only available at like the DLC, your championship and your competitive events. It still has that same symbol for the promo associated with it, but if you notice, the art is extended all the way down, right? So if we look at our Aladdin, the artwork stops here. With the Rapunzel, Gifted with Healing, this is a card from set 1. It's a legendary card. It lost that. It now has this logo with it, and the artwork extends all the way to the card. And the artwork itself is different. It's still in the same theme, same still style associated with it, but they created new artwork for it. This card has another variant associated with it where the artwork is the same, but it has a foiling on it that has a very intricate, almost like a quasi-spiral whirlpool pattern with it. It's unmistakable when you see it for the first time. I no longer have a promo card that has that foiling on it. I actually sold my Dragonfire promo recently that had that. If you see the Rapunzel, there's also a Cinderella with it. Those are worth significantly more than this because this is the prize wall exclusive. So if you have enough tickets from competing, you can turn those tickets in from like a prize wall event. I think you needed to be top 64, top prize is what it says on the PSA slab to get the version of this that has the foiling associated with it. So much harder to get, much harder to acquire now, and as a result, supply and demand with it, it's more expensive. I don't know if I'm going to get one of those at some point. Honestly, the foiling I like, but I'm not biggest of paying a premium for that because I don't like it that much. But collecting is always about what you enjoy and what you like. So if you enjoy it, if you like that foiling, keep an eye out for it and maybe be able to acquire it for a good price. Okay, now we're going to get into a promo that are like specific, like convention exclusive. So this was from 2023 Gen Con. This is the Mickey Mouse Musketeer with that. If you notice the logo or that stamp there is completely different. It's unique for that. And there is another one which isn't Gen Con. I can't remember the name of it, but it's the Goofy Musketeer version of it. So instead of Mickey, it's the Goofy version, and it has a different printing on it down here. This little icon is changed. I don't have that one. It's not super valuable. Depending on your budget for cards, like Enchanted are going to be more expensive typically. I think this card here is usually selling for about 60 to 70 ish, And I think the Goofy is a little bit cheaper than that. So I think it's like the $40 to $50 range with it. And that's ungraded. Obviously, PSA 10 is going to be worth more money, typically. Almost always, right? So, alright. Moving on to the next thing you'll see is the D23 logo. So this is from the 2024 D23 collection, which I know is a mouthful. It uses 23, 24 confusingly. The way it works is there's a D23 promo variant of cards. Some were printed in 2023. We'll talk about those in a bit. Some were printed in 2024. The 23 has nothing to do with the year 2023. It is for Disney being founded in 1923. And so it's their D23 membership and all sorts of other things associated with that. So they recently celebrated the 100 years of Disney. They had a lot of stuff for that, right? That's all that means. It doesn't mean 2023. It doesn't mean 2024. This one is from 2024. There's a collection with it where the artwork is effectively the same as what you would see in like set 4. Except it has like an enchanted foiling to it now. It's worth a bit more as a result. It's pretty cool artwork, but the collection of that is limited to I think 7 cards, including the Mickey. If you get the box, which I've shown on camera before, I think it has 6 cards, and then the Mickey is a separate one that also has that D23 logo with it. So, alright, before I reveal the most sought after, the rarest stamp or logo icon you will see, let's talk about one other thing about the card so you can read what the card is from. So, down here, let's try that again, there we go. You will see it says 1/204, then you get a dot, and then you get EN.8. So this means it is card 1 of 204 cards. Take that 204 cards with a grain of salt. And then EN means English, 8 means set 8. So if it is, and we'll just pull up the Maui for comparison, Maui is 114, so it's card 114 of 204, EN 1. So English 1, it's set 1, it's your first chapter, right? If you see JA1, which I have some cards at some point, I actually have it right here, let's pull that out real quick. So we have a Japanese stitch, JA1, so Japanese first set. So if you have, I think they're on Inklands at this point right now, which is set 3, you may see some that say JA3. For the French and German prints, it's FR for French, and then DE for German, and you will see those on cards, and the language should match with that. That's all this means. The foiling, if you have a foil card, it does not change the number in any way. So let's take a look at that. We have foil here. It is still card number 2. And then I'm going to put this right on top of it. We have the non-foil. It is still card number 2. So the 200, 204, whatever just means that's how many regular base versions of it versus the foiling with it. I'm going to pause for one moment because I got to turn this other camera on because we got to do the important step of turning on the Sahana cam. Oh, you're a good girl. Yes, you are. Okay. And we are recording there, and we'll have a little bit of Sahana cam there with that. So, yes, you're a good girl. I love you. Yeah. Oh, thank you for burping at me. I appreciate that. Yeah. She had dinner recently, so you gotta burp out a little bit, right? I don't know if the microphone's gonna catch that, but if you saw that little motion from her, that's her burping. She does that a lot. Alright, let's get back to it. We talked about the 204 cards in a set. Remember I said I take that with a grain of salt? Let's go back to the Enchanted. For the astute of you, you would have noticed this is card 213 out of 204. That's not how fractions work, but Lorcana does that. So for the alternate artwork, it will have a card number greater than the number of cards in the set. And this isn't unique to set 2. We have the same thing here with set 3, and we get card number 216 out of 214. You get it all over the place with it, right? So the other thing you'll see on these is promo, and you'll see that here is card 29, and this is promo 2. So that just indicates that it's a promo card when you have that P1, P2 from whatever it is, right? So, okay. The last thing, and the one you're probably least likely to see, unless you're a serious collector and spending quite a bit of money on shiny cardboard, which, hey, awesome, love to have you here. I'm right there with you and spending a lot of money on cardboard, is the first edition stamp from the D23 Expo. So Disney Lorcana, it was officially made in 2023. This was part of the first set of cards that were ever printed for Disney Lorcana. There's a set of 6 of them, plus a Mickey Mouse that was not included in the original set. So my understanding is that for the set of 6 cards, including the Stitch, the Elsa, the Cruella de Vil, the Maleficent, the Captain Hook, and the Robin Hood, there were 940 of those cards printed. Please correct me if I'm wrong on that. I could be 760, but I want to say it's 940. Okay. The Mickey was printed separate to that set. I don't know how many were printed. I don't know if that number's ever been actually confirmed with it. These are the first printed cards in Lorcana. They're the only ones that I know of, and the only ones that exist that have the D23 Expo and that first edition stamp with it. It will have the D23 Expo Collector's Set, where if you look at the Bruno, it just says D23 Collection. Big difference between those in grading. The value of these is significantly higher because, again, only 940 cards are ever printed. Obviously, there's going to be a limited number that get a PSA 10 versus PSA 9 or even an 8 because some people don't take care of them the way I would say, you know, or maybe they had transportation issues and trying to bring it back from the D23 Expo, right? Things happen and stuff. So I think this card in the PSA 10 is probably around like $2,700 right now. It is quite pricey. The Elsa for this is even more expensive. I think it's like $7,000 in a PSA 10. Those prices do change obviously with sales, and there's not going to be that many sales because there's so few number of cards. This is my grail, my holy grail of Disney Lorcana. It's one of the rarest cards in existence with it. So, and I had to have the Stitch with it. Okay, so that covers all the type of icons, symbols, and stuff that you will see on Disney Lorcana cards. We had a special guest appearance from Sahana, which is always appreciated. I always welcome her here. I forgot, I have new attire we talked about. This is the Lion King version of it. It is absolutely adorable seeing Mufasa and Simba here. I have more shirts like this that I'm hoping to do when we start vending again. We have one, I think, August 16th. We're looking forward to that. We had a great time with the first one with it. Editing the content is taking quite a bit of time because it's broken up, and neither of us are professional editors with that. So we're doing our best, and we're trying to get out content as quickly as we can. So I think that's a good time to stop. I'll put this back in camera view so we know when we're ending here. But that's a goodbye from Sahana. Hopefully the microphone caught that. If not, she wishes you all the best and hope you're having a wonderful day. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.